Hello students, this is Shachi. Welcome to my channel Crack Chemistry. Today I am going to discuss a class 10th topic. The name of the topic is metals and non-metals. From this topic, I'll discuss 10 exemplar problems with detailed explanation. Students, before starting, I want to remind you to subscribe my channel for getting information about further important uploads and press the like button if you like this video and share this video with your friends also. So now come with me and let's crack chemistry. Our topic is exemplar problems. I'll discuss 10 multiple choice questions today. Children, first question is, which of the following property is generally not shown by metals? So we will discuss all the 4 options one by one. First option is electrical conduction. This is a correct property because metals show electrical conduction. Electrical conduction is one of the very important property of metals. Metals allow electricity to pass through them. That's why metals are used in making electrical wires also. Second property is sonorous in nature. Yes, metals are sonorous because they produce sound when hit with an object. Third property is dullness. So metals are generally not dull. They have luster. They have a specific shine. So correct option is option C because dullness is generally not shown by metals. Now we will consider the fourth property also. Fourth property is ductility. Metals are ductile. Ductile means they can be drawn into thin wires. Next question is, the ability of metals to be drawn into thin wire is known as ductility. Ductility we have discussed in previous question. Metals can be drawn into thin wires. So, correct option is option A, ductility. We will consider other options also. Malleability. Malleability is the property by which metals can be beaten into thin sheets, can be hammered into thin sheets. Option C is sonorosity. Metals are sonorous also. We have discussed this property also in the previous question. They produce sound when hit with an object. Option D is conductivity. This property is also shown by metals. Metals allow electricity and heat to pass through them. So metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. So our correct option is ductility because you have been asked the ability of metals to be drawn into thin wires. This ability is known as ductility. Now consider the third question. Third question is given that aluminium is used for making cooking utensils. Which of the following properties of aluminium are responsible for the same? Children, in this question you have been asked that which of the property of aluminium is used for making cooking utensils. So we will discuss all the given options one by one. First option is given that good thermal conductivity. Good thermal conductivity means aluminium allows heat to pass through it. So definitely this property is very useful for choosing it for making cooking utensils. Then second option is given good electrical conductivity. Of course, aluminium is a good conductor of electricity, but this property is not used for making cooking utensils. Third property is ductility. Yes, aluminium show ductility, but this property also is not used for making cooking utensils. And the next property is high melting point. Aluminium has high melting point. Because of the high melting point, it can be used for making cooking utensils. So correct option is good thermal conductivity and high melting point. So we can see that option first and fourth are correct options. So this is the option D is the correct option where you have been given first and fourth. Now we will consider the next question. Which one of the following metals do not react with cold as well as hot water? So children, you have been given here sodium. Option A is sodium. Option B is calcium. So sodium reacts very violently with cold water. They produce hydroxide with the liberation of large amount of heat because the reaction is highly exothermic. So because of the production of large amount of heat, hydrogen gas which is produced starts burning also. It catches fire. So I can write the reaction here. Reaction of sodium with water is 2Na plus 2H2O. you will get sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas is liberated, and as the reaction is highly exothermic, so that hydrogen gas which is produced here, it catches fire. Similarly, I'll write the reaction of calcium with water also. Calcium reacts with water, but the reaction of calcium with water is not so vigorous, so that the hydrogen which is produced doesn't catch fire. So reaction can be written as Ca plus 2H2O. The products will be calcium hydroxide, CaOH taken twice, plus H2. Now we will see the reaction of magnesium. Children, magnesium doesn't react with cold water. It reacts with hot water only. So the products form will be Mg plus 2H2O. The reaction takes place with hot water. So products will be magnesium hydroxide plus H2. And last option which is given to you is iron. Children, iron doesn't react with cold water as well as hot water. Iron reacts with steam only. So our correct option is option D, which is iron, because iron doesn't react with cold water as well as with hot water. Next question. Which of the following oxide of iron would be obtained on prolonged reaction of iron with steam? Children, we have discussed in the previous question that iron neither reacts with cold water nor it reacts with hot water. It reacts with steam only. So on prolonged reaction with steam, iron produces Fe3O4 and hydrogen gas. Reaction can be written as 3Fe plus 4H2O. Here I am writing G as a subscript here. So G represents the gaseous state. The products form will be Fe3O4 plus 4H2. Correct option which is given here is option C. Option C, you have been given Fe3O4. Fe3O4 is formed during prolonged heating of iron with steam, and along with Fe3O4, hydrogen gas is also liberated. Next question. What happens when calcium is treated with water? Children, when calcium is treated with water, as the reaction of calcium with water is not very violent. So what will happen? Calcium reacts with water and calcium hydroxide will be formed and hydrogen gas will be liberated. But as I told you, the reaction of calcium with water is not very violent, so that hydrogen gas will not catch fire, and the bubbles of hydrogen gas will stick on the surface of calcium. Therefore, calcium will start floating on the surface of water. The similar pattern you will find for the reaction of magnesium with water also. So, we will consider options one by one. It doesn't react with water. This option is a wrong option. It reacts with cold water, but it reacts slowly. The reaction is less violent. It reacts violently with water. This is also not a correct option. Third option is it reacts less violently with water. This option is a correct option. Now we will consider option fourth as well. Option fourth which is given to you is that bubbles of hydrogen gas form stick to the surface of calcium. Because of this only, the calcium starts floating on the surface of water. Now we can conclude that option third and fourth which are given here are correct option. So you can see option third and fourth is given in option D. So your correct option is option D. Question 7th is that generally metals react with acids to give salt and hydrogen gas. That's true. Metals react with acids and produce salt and hydrogen gas is liberated. They are asking you which of the following acid doesn't give hydrogen gas on reacting with metals, and you have been given two exceptions. The exceptions are manganese and magnesium. So children, generally metals react with sulfuric acid and the products formed are salt and hydrogen. So this is a correct option. They react with hydrochloric acid also and the products formed are salt and hydrogen gas. Children, always remember that metals don't produce hydrogen gas with nitric acid. The reason is that nitric acid is a very strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes hydrogen to water. And itself it will be reduced to any oxide of nitrogen. It may be NO, it may be N2O, or it may be NO2. So you can see that hydrogen is oxidized to water and itself nitric acid reduces to any oxide of nitrogen, which may be NO, N2O, NO2, etc. So last option is all of these. So now you know that correct option is nitric acid, option C. So option C is the correct option, where you have seen that nitric acid, because it's a very strong oxidizing agent, it oxidizes hydrogen to water. And itself it is reduced to any oxide of nitrogen. It can be reduced to NO, which is nitric oxide. It can be reduced to N2O, which is nitrous oxide. Or it can be reduced to NO2, which is nitrogen dioxide. Now, next question is that the composition of aqua-regia is that it consists of, it's a mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid in a ratio of 3:1. So correct option is option C. Aqua-regia is a mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid, HCl, and concentrated nitric acid, which is HNO3, in a ratio of 3:1. Aqua-regia can dissolve noble metals like gold and platinum, and none of the acid alone is capable of dissolving gold and platinum. Next question is, which of the following are not ionic compounds? Children, ionic compounds are formed by the loss and gain of electrons. They are formed between a metal and a non-metal. Metal loses one or more electrons and the non-metals gain electron. So you can see here in the given option, first option is KCl. It's an ionic compound where potassium metal loses one electron and forms potassium ion, and the chlorine atom gains one electron and form chloride ion, Cl minus ion. So KCl is an ionic compound. If you look at second option, HCl is not an ionic compound. It is formed between two nonmetals, hydrogen and chlorine, by the sharing of an electron pair, and the shared pair of electron is supplied by both the bonded atoms. So one of the option which is correct is HCl. HCl is not an ionic compound. It's a covalent compound. If you look at the third option, which is CCl4, you can see that it is also formed between two nonmetals, which are carbon and chlorine. So HCl and CCl4 are covalent compounds. They are not ionic compounds. Now consider fourth option. Fourth option is NaCl. NaCl is also an ionic compound. So they are asking you which of the following are not ionic compounds. The correct options are option second and third. So option B is the correct option. Option second and third. 10th question. Which one of the following properties is not generally exhibited by ionic compounds? First property is solubility in water. Children, ionic compounds are highly soluble in water. They are readily soluble in water. Then the second point which is given here is that electrical conductivity in solid state. Children, ionic compounds, they don't conduct electricity in the solid state. They conduct electricity either in the molten state or in aqueous solution. Third option which is given to you is high melting and boiling points. Yes, ionic compounds have very high melting and boiling points because of the very strong forces of attraction between opposite charged ions. Option D is electrical conductivity in molten state. Yes, ionic compounds conduct electricity in the molten state. Question was that which one of the following properties is not generally exhibited by ionic compounds? Option B is the correct option, because ionic compounds, they don't conduct electricity in the solid state. I hope this point is clear to you. Children, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope each and every point is clear to you. In case of any doubt, please post your doubts in the comment box. Please subscribe my channel, like this video and share this video with your friends also. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.